Staring at that tax software, finger hovering over the file button, but something feels off? Like a piece of the puzzle is missing, or maybe you just know there's a document you haven't accounted for yet. If you're a Wealthsimple user, and that nagging feeling is about your tax forms, you're in the right place. Because let's be honest, tax season can feel like a scavenger hunt, and sometimes, the most crucial clues are hidden in plain sight, or in this case, in your digital investment statements. We all know the drill. January rolls around, and suddenly, every financial institution starts sending out emails about tax documents. Some are straightforward, popping up in your inbox. Others, well, they require a bit more digging. And if you're like millions of Canadians, you've embraced the simplicity and accessibility of Wealthsimple for your investing, savings, or even your everyday banking. But with that convenience comes a new set of questions when tax time hits. Where are my T4s? My T5s? What about those capital gains or losses from my crypto or stock trades? It's enough to make you want to bury your head in the sand. But fear not, because by the end of this video, you'll be a Wealthsimple tax form wizard. We're going to demystify the process, walking you through every step of locating, understanding, and ultimately, using your Wealthsimple tax documents to confidently file your taxes. Forget the stress, the confusion, and the last-minute scramble. We're going to equip you with the knowledge to make tax season a breeze, at least when it comes to your Wealthsimple accounts. So, let's dive in. The first and most important thing to understand is that Wealthsimple offers a variety of services, and each service generates different types of tax forms. This is crucial because a T3 from your robo-advisor account is very different from the tax implications of trading individual stocks on Wealthsimple Trade, or the tax benefits of your Wealthsimple Cash account. We're going to break down the forms by the Wealthsimple product they relate to, making it easy to identify exactly what you need. Let's start with perhaps the most common Wealthsimple product, Wealthsimple Invest. This is their robo-advisor service, where your money is invested in a diversified portfolio based on your risk tolerance. For your Wealthsimple Invest accounts, you will primarily be looking for a T3 statement of trust income allocations and designations. This form reports any income earned from your investments, such as dividends, interest, or capital gains distributions from mutual funds or ETFs held within a trust. It's important to note that if your Wealthsimple Invest account is a registered account like an RRSP or TFSA, you generally won't receive a T3, as these accounts are tax-sheltered. We'll get to registered accounts in a moment, but for non-registered Wealthsimple Invest accounts, the T3 is your primary tax document. Next up, let's talk about Wealthsimple Trade. This is where you can buy and sell individual stocks and ETFs. For your Wealthsimple Trade accounts, the tax forms get a little more diverse. You might receive a T5008 statement of securities transactions if you've sold any securities. This form reports the proceeds from your sales. However, it's crucial to remember that a T5008 does not report your capital gains or losses. You'll need to calculate those yourself using your trade activity. Wealthsimple provides excellent transaction histories that make this calculation much easier, but it's a manual step you need to be aware of. If you receive dividends from Canadian corporations in your Wealthsimple Trade account, you'd also receive a T5 statement of investment income. For foreign dividends, you might see them reported on a T3 statement. The key takeaway here is that Wealthsimple Trade can generate multiple forms depending on your trading activity and the types of investments you hold. Now, let's move on to Wealthsimple Cash. This is Wealthsimple's high-interest savings account and spending account. While it's primarily designed for everyday banking, the interest you earn is taxable. Therefore, you'll typically receive a T5 statement of investment income for any interest earned in your Wealthsimple Cash account that exceeds a certain threshold. It's usually a pretty straightforward T5, but it's one more document to keep an eye out for. And then, there's Wealthsimple Crypto. This is a newer addition to the Wealthsimple family, allowing you to buy and sell cryptocurrencies. The tax implications of crypto can be complex, but Wealthsimple simplifies the reporting to some extent. Similar to Wealthsimple Trade, you will generally receive a T5008 statement of securities transactions if you've sold any cryptocurrency. Again, like stocks, this form reports the proceeds of your sales, but not your capital gains or losses. You'll need to calculate those based on your purchase and sale prices. Wealthsimple provides detailed transaction history within the app, which is invaluable for this purpose. However, be aware that the tax treatment of crypto can vary, and it's always wise to consult with a tax professional if you have significant crypto holdings or complex transactions. Finally, let's address the registered accounts, your RRSPs, TFSAs, and RESPs. The beauty of these accounts is their tax-sheltered nature. For the most part, you won't receive traditional tax slips like T3S, T5S, or T5008S for activity within these accounts. Contributions to your RRSP will be reported on a RRSP contribution receipt, which you'll need to claim your deduction. Withdrawals from an RRSP will generate a T4 RSP statement of RRSP income. For TFSAs, you generally won't receive any tax slips unless you overcontributed or made non-qualified investments, in which case you might receive a T4A statement of pension, retirement, annuity, and other income or a T5008. For RESPs, you'll typically receive a T4A when educational assistance payments, EAPs, are made to a student. So, while registered accounts offer tax advantages, it's still important to be aware of the specific forms that might be generated based on your contributions, withdrawals, or any unusual activity. Now that we've covered the different types of forms you might expect, let's get into the nitty-gritty of how to actually get your hands on them. Wealthsimple, being a digital-first company, makes this process incredibly streamlined. You won't be waiting for paper forms to arrive in the mail, which is a blessing for those of us who tend to misplace important documents. The primary way to access all your Wealthsimple tax forms is through your Wealthsimple account online portal. You'll want to log into your account from a web browser, as the mobile app often has a more limited view of tax documents. Once you're logged in, look for a section typically labeled Documents, Statements, or Tax Documents. The exact wording might vary slightly, but it will be intuitively located within your account dashboard. Within this section, you'll usually find a submenu or a filter option for tax documents or tax slips. Click on that, and you'll be presented with a list of all the tax forms issued to you for the current tax year, as well as previous tax years. This is fantastic because it means you don't have to scramble if you missed a form from a prior year. They're all there, archived for your convenience. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.